Hey, it's Faith, and welcome to Popping the Tab, the show where I crack open all of life's juicy little details. Hi, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Popping the Tab. I hope everyone had such a good week after last episode and that you all have a great week after today. I'm also very excited to announce that the podcast is now available on Amazon and Apple Podcasts. So if you have friends that don't have Spotify, make sure you let them know that there's other ways that they can listen to the podcast now as well. I recently had the opportunity to attend a networking dinner with my college's board of trustees, and next Thursday I'll actually be taking a networking trip to Washington, D.C. to meet with some more alum. And because of this, I've been so busy preparing and reviewing best practices for putting yourself out there so that I can really make the most of this opportunity. So today I really wanted to bring you all along with me on this journey, and that is why today's episode will be all about making the best first impression possible. So grab your bevs. Today I'm actually drinking a Diet Coke with a True Lime packet. It's so delicious. Maybe grab a notepad and pen, and let's get into developing our best professional selves. Whether you're just starting out in your career or you're a seasoned professional, making a good first impression, effective networking, and understanding professional dress codes is extremely important. Now, first impressions. They say you never get a second chance to make a first impression, right? That's so true. Studies show that people form opinions about you within the first 7 seconds of meeting. 7 seconds. That's hardly enough time to even say your name. So with this time limit stacked against you, what can you do to ensure that those first 7 seconds really count? One of the most powerful tools at your disposal is actually your body language. Did you know that a whopping 93% of communication is nonverbal? That means how we carry ourselves, our facial expressions, and even our eye contact can speak volumes before we even say a word. When you walk into a room, stand tall, make eye contact, and offer a firm handshake. I know it may sound a bit cliche, but a genuine smile can also go a long way. It not only makes you look approachable, but can also set a positive tone for the interaction. I know that personally I struggle with major RBF sometimes, so it's really vital to kind of keep that in the back of your mind because you don't want to look mean or intimidating. I know it sounds simple, but trust me, it goes a long way in making you seem approachable and confident. Speaking of confidence, have you ever noticed how some people just seem to really light up a room when they walk in it? That's often because they're actually genuinely interested in others. When you meet someone new, ask them questions about themselves and really listen to their answers. This shows that you're engaged and helps build an instant connection. Remember, people love to talk about themselves, so give them the opportunity, and this will create a connection that helps you stand out in their memory. Now let's touch on appearance quickly, and then we'll talk about it more in detail later on. And yes, I know it's a bit cliche, but the truth is how we present ourselves really does matter. You don't have to wear a suit or a fancy dress to make a great impression. Just make sure you're clean, neat, and dressed appropriately for the occasion. Your outfit can reflect your personality and set the tone for how you want to be perceived. So wear something that makes you feel good and that confidence will just shine through. And here's a little secret. Don't underestimate the power of a simple greeting. A warm, friendly hello or nice to meet you can break the ice and make the other person feel at ease. It's all about creating a comfortable space where conversation can flow naturally. I was super nervous before attending the dinner I had with my school's board of trustees last week, but I tried to stay as calm as possible and put my best foot forward. Once I got there, chose my seat, I was able to calm down and have a really nice time. I even ran into a trustee the next day that was not at my table and I didn't speak to at all, but he remembered me because I dressed professionally and he was able to recall that. So there you have it. Body language, genuine curiosity, appropriate appearance, warm greetings, and thoughtful follow-ups. These are just a few tips to help you make a lasting first impression. Remember, it's not about being perfect, it's about being authentic and showing up as your true self. Now let's take a quick break and we'll talk more about networking when we get back. Hello and welcome back to Popping the Tab. Now that we know a bit more about making a positive, lasting first impression, let's put that into practice with some networking tips and tricks. Now I know what you might be thinking. Networking, isn't that just a fancy word for schmoozing at events? Well, yes and no. While networking can happen in a crowded room, it's really about building authentic relationships that can support both your personal and professional goals. So let's break it down. First off, what does effective networking really look like? It's not just about collecting business cards or LinkedIn connections, although those certainly never hurt. I carry around personalized business cards that say a bit about me, provide my contact info, as well as a QR code straight to my resume. I also try to carry printed copies of my resume in case the opportunity to hand it over would arise. But you don't want to awkwardly shove your resume on someone that you're trying to network with, or that might ruin the conversation. Networking is about creating meaningful connections, understanding your audience, and offering value in return. One of the best ways to start is to think about your own interests and passions. What do you love to talk about? What areas do you want to grow in? When you approach networking from a place of genuine interest, it makes the experience much more enjoyable and authentic. Now, let's chat about the power of listening. Yes, I said listening. Networking isn't just about promoting yourself. It's about engaging in conversations, asking questions, and genuinely caring about what others have to say. When you listen, you build trust, and trust is the foundation of any strong relationship. And because we talked about this earlier, to make your amazing first impression, you should be a seasoned pro by now at listening. And here's a little tip. Don't be afraid to follow up after your initial meeting. A simple email or message saying, "Hey, I really enjoyed our chat about whatever topic you happen to talk about," can go a long way in solidifying that connection. People appreciate when you remember details about them, and it shows that you value the relationship. If you really want to go above and beyond, you can send a handwritten note which shows personability and shows how much you really care. Now, let's not forget about the online world. Social media and platforms like LinkedIn have changed the networking game completely. It's easier than ever to connect with people from all over the globe. But remember, the same rules apply. Be genuine, engage with their content, and don't just send a connection request without a personalized note unless you already know that person. It's all about making that effort. Also, consider joining groups or communities that align with your interest or professional field. Whether it's online forums or local meetups, these spaces are great for meeting like-minded individuals. And who knows, you might find a mentor, a collaborator, or even a friend. Now, before we wrap this section up, let's talk briefly about networking events. I know they can feel intimidating, but think of them as opportunities rather than obligations. Set a goal for yourself. Maybe it's to have 3 meaningful conversations or to learn something new. And remember, everyone else is there for the same reason you are, to connect and grow. Those are some of my tips for effective networking, but what should you wear for these events? We'll dive into dress codes after a quick break. I hope you enjoyed that break. Now that you know how to make a good first impression and how to network, let's go over those pesky dress codes. What should you wear for different professional dress codes? This question can definitely get a little tricky and confusing, but whether you're just starting your career, transitioning to a new job, or simply want to refresh your wardrobe, understanding dress codes is key. I'm also going to be posting some vision boards on the Instagram story this week, so stay tuned till the end to catch that handle. First up, let's talk about business formal. This is the most traditional dress code, usually reserved for high-stake meetings, interviews, or events. For men, think tailored suits, a crisp dress shirt, and a tie. Dark colors like navy or charcoal are always safe bets. You also want to try and wear nice, clean dress shoes, and this goes for both men and women, but this is not the time for tennis shoes. And ladies, you can't go wrong with a well-fitted suit, either a pantsuit or a skirt suit, paired with a blouse. I personally am a huge fan of dresses, but you don't have to wear dresses. And I usually tend to stick with solid, jewel-toned colors because I think that patterns can get a bit busy and jewel tones just look the best on me personally. You also don't want to forget about those classic pumps or professional flats. And you don't have to go broke to look nice. Clearance sections and thrift stores will become your new best friend when developing your dream corporate wardrobe. But what if your workplace or the event you're attending is a little more laid back? Let's move on to business casual. This is where things start to get interesting. For guys, you can swap out the tie for a nice button-up shirt and consider dress slacks or chinos instead of a suit. And for ladies, you also have a bit more freedom here. Think tailored dresses, smart blouses paired with slacks, or even dark jeans if they're paired with a blazer. You may also be able to get away with a nicer, clean pair of sneakers if you feel it is appropriate, but you definitely want to read the room on that one. Okay, now let's switch gears to our casual section. First up, we have smart casual, and that's a little tricky. It's like casual, but with an extra dash of effort. So think of it as a step above casual, but not quite business casual. For men, a blazer over a nice t-shirt can work wonders, and for women, you can mix and match. A chic top with tailored trousers or a stylish skirt can really hit the mark. And now for the casual dress code. This dress code is becoming more and more common, especially in tech and creative industries. You still want to look polished though. For men, this could mean a nice polo or a casual button-up with jeans. Just steer clear of anything too worn out or graphic tees with questionable slogans. Ladies, you can rock a cute sundress or go for a stylish top with jeans or even tailored shorts if it's warm out. But remember, casual doesn't mean sloppy. You never know what might come up or who you might meet, so you still want to look your best. Let's dive into some of the more niche dress codes like creative or industry-specific attire. This usually applies in places like advertising agencies or fashion houses where self-expression is very encouraged. This is your chance to showcase your personality. Think bold patterns, unique accessories, or even a statement piece that really speaks to who you are. Just make sure it still feels appropriate for your workplace. And lastly, we can't forget about uniforms. Some professions require specific attire, whether it's scrubs in healthcare or a uniform in hospitality. In these cases, just focus on keeping your uniform clean, pressed, and fitting well. But you almost will never use these last three dress codes at networking events, so don't stress about them too much. Understanding dress codes can really help you navigate your professional life with confidence. Remember that each workplace and event is unique, so it's always a good idea to observe what your colleagues are wearing and adjust accordingly. And that's it for today's episode. I hope you found some helpful tips on making a good first impression, networking, and what to wear for different professional dress codes. If you have any questions or want to share your personal experiences with workplace attire, networking, making first impressions, whatever, I'd love to hear from you. Thank you for tuning in to Popping the Tab. If you enjoyed today's episode, please share it with a friend or leave us a review. You can reach out to me on poppingthetab_pod on Instagram or drop a comment. Until next time, keep living, thriving, and being your best selves. Cheers!